It's October 13th, 2007, and this is the second edition of the GANOOZE, and hopefully one of the last. So anyway, top stories I arbitrarily chose. Gates, the ex-CIA director, talks to the Russian military academy. There's a report that workers are depressed. Yeah, surprise, surprise. You know, the Rockies beat the Diamondbacks. I don't know, what is that? Squash or something? Rockies, Diamondbacks? What the hell are they talking about? Okay, yeah, Bush talks about protectionism. A general says no end in sight. I wonder what he's talking about. Next general. The Democrats, they overturn a veto. Okay, well, big deal there. I don't even know if I'll talk about that. Okay, well, let's get to this. Okay, so Gates, CIA director, right? So he's over there with that stupid bitch, Condoleezza Rice, over in Russia. And, you know, they talk about missile defense, different things. Well, anyway, so he actually goes to the military academy and, you know, talks to the Russian military academy. Now, what sense does this make? I don't get it. I mean, you know, it doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. Well, anyway, so yeah, and he accredited the Russians with, you know, having a great, you know, for apparently developing great military strategies that we used in the first Gulf War. You know, strategies like, you know, buy expensive hardware that works, and, you know, blow the primitive, ignorant little people up and burn them to death. Yeah, that'll be some strategy. You know, yeah, have a big, preposterous military against a stupid, ignorant bunch of, you know, assholes in uniforms, and be proud of yourself that you were able to blow them up as they were leaving town, you know, in their cars. But anyway, oh, God, I hate this country. So anyway, there's a report released that, you know, workers are depressed. And primarily elderly workers who have to work changing diapers and serving food. They really probably shouldn't be doing both those jobs. You know, that's probably the mistake right there. You know, overall though, you know, younger people are supposed to be more depressed, but apparently there's a big spike in depression among the diaper changers and food servers. And, you know, that's a surprise, I suppose. You know, like, it's a wonderful job serving food and changing diapers. You know, so anyway, there's a 7% overall rate among workers and a 12.7% rate among the unemployed, which seems kind of strange because you'd think the unemployed would be a little more depressed, but I guess the unemployed, they're getting unemployment payments, aren't so depressed. So anyway, well, I might as well say, yeah, there's this, like, apparently there's a World Series and there's this divisional thing, playoff thing between two teams, and, you know, it just sounds so funny, Rockies and Diamondbacks. I mean, it just doesn't sound like baseball to me. But who cares? Waste of time. There was another story about big, you know, trucks in a tunnel in California, you know, like crashing in a tunnel and catching fire. You know, but the story, I read the story, and it's like, okay, the headline says 5 trucks, and then the story says 15 trucks. And it's like, right away I'm saying, I don't even want to read this story. I mean, they can't even get these two numbers to match. I hate that shit. So anyway, a bunch of trucks went into a tunnel, and apparently never came out of the tunnel because they, you know, did something evil in there and caught fire. So anyway, Bush on protectionism again. The dear president, you know, protectionism is bad, right? It's bad. Protectionism is bad. Oh, see, I forgot to do all the, you know, he's all like, you know, you know, but it's like, you know, protectionism is bad, but exploitation is good, you know? So, you know, it's just, you know, oh, it's just so irritating. So he wants more trade agreements. Apparently we don't have enough bad trade agreements. We need more trade agreements so, you know, we can import more labor and export, you know, grief and suffering. And we can maybe get that employment depression number, you know, to catch up to the unemployed number. Because jobs just keep getting shittier and shittier. But the good news is there isn't too much depression among people who have jobs as engineers and architects and stuff like that. You know, yeah, kind of job I would have sort of liked to have, but you know, you have to go to school and all that crap, and I ain't gonna do that. Anyway, so what's no end in sight. So an ex-general in charge of the military, whatever, blah blah blah. They're always coming out with these little things, you know. Okay, so he blames it all on bad planning and bad this and bad that. Of course, they all, you know, blame it on something except themselves. But yeah, no end in sight. There was no beginning in sight. That's the problem with the war. You see, there was no purpose to do the war in the first place. There was no beginning. It was all just a fucking lie. And so that's why there's no end in sight, is because we never started right, you know. So we're just kind of stuck without the beginning. You can't go through something unless you first do the beginning right. Then there is no end. So that's why there's no end in sight, is because we never began the goddamn thing right. You know, I suppose, look, the good news, I'll get serious for a minute, you know, at least some of these nuts in Iraq are actually going for the, you know, let's just cut the country up into 3 or 4 pieces and give it to each nutty group, and, you know, create a bunch of little, you know, shit-ass countries that, you know, will be useless and, you know, less of a threat to the world, probably. But, you know, I don't even know how practical that is, because, you know, they're going to fight over the oil. Who gets, you know, who's going to get the big hunk of desert, and who's going to get the oil, you know? That's, yeah, I think it's going to be a problem. Just for the hell of it up, just point out, yeah, the Democrats did overturn George Bush's veto on the child health care bill, which I don't know. I didn't follow this crap. I mean, it just seems to me redundancy anyway. Why do we have Medicare and Medicaid and all this other crap if that's not going to cover people? I mean, if you have to have some supplementary thing to take care of children's health care, and I really don't get the whole thing anyway. Like I said, it doesn't make any sense. If the family is poor, you know, what, you let the parents die, but you'll give the kids health care? You know, I don't know if that makes too much sense either. But anyway, the whole thing is just, you know, I hate, the whole thing needs to be redone. The whole health care thing is all fucked up. It's a big problem, you know, because people want it all, but nobody wants to pay for it, you know. It's a subject that really irritates me, because, you know, people keep just talking and talking, but, you know, it's really expensive. And, you know, they all want to live forever. They all want those last 7 months that cost $100,000, you know. I mean, that's, you know, a down payment on a very nice house, $100,000. And so you got to know what we got to pay for. You know, if everybody is expecting that, then maybe we all have to, you know, give up living in houses just so we can have health care. Well, anyway, didn't want to get that serious. Oh, well, kept it under 7 minutes. I don't know. I just don't care enough to get into this. I'm sorry. I'm really distracted. Stuff, you know, real life crap. And so that's the news. Take it for what it is. I'm sorry, not very good. I'm just pissed off at everything right now. You know, even this whole YouTube thing. I mean, I was thinking about it. I got 500 subscribers, and you know, I'm lucky if some videos get 200 views. So it's like, you know, 300 of my subscribers aren't even watching the videos. You know, jeez, irritating.